Febreze.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Family, friends, and law enforcement in Virginia Beach are puzzled by the sudden disappearance of a beloved 39-year-old mother. When she doesn't show up for work, it sparks an urgent search for answers, leaving the community hopeful for any clues that can lead to her whereabouts. What happened to the dedicated mom of 4? What happens when love becomes fatal? This is the Fatal Attraction Podcast with Love is Not Abuse.
July 2nd, 2018. It's Monday morning in Virginia Beach, one of the East Coast's busiest ports.
You do have a lot of the shipping businesses, import-export businesses, fishing businesses up and down that coastline.
But that morning, one of the port's business owners notices something unusual. He is short one employee, 39-year-old Bellamy Gamboa.
She's a faithful worker. She comes to work every day. She was always there on time.
But that morning, she hadn't shown up at all.
Oh, hey, have you heard from Bellamy today?
Shouldn't she be here by now?
Yeah, no, she's not here and she's not answering my calls.
Okay, let me try.
It alarmed her coworkers.
She's not answering.
Can you keep trying?
Okay.
Eventually, they become so concerned that they call the police.
For her not to be somewhere and not be able to be found was out of her character. So we did a welfare check.
But when police knock on her door, it's not Bellamy that answers.
Officer, can I help you? Yeah, I'm looking for a Bellamy Gamboa.
The man identifies himself as 41-year-old Lamont Johnson, Bellamy's boyfriend and the father of 2 of her 4 children.
She had 2 older children and 2 very young children.
Bellamy's not here. Her work called in a welfare check. You care if we come in and ask a few questions? Sure, it's not a problem.
Police immediately notice that the townhouse is in chaos.
Sorry about the mess. I just put the babies down for a nap.
He seems frazzled. There's panic, there's worry.
And based on what Lamont says, there's a good reason for his concern.
Actually, glad you're here. Bellamy took off last night and I haven't seen her since.
For Bellamy Gamboa, life was all about constant reinvention.
My father was in the Navy. Growing up, we were moving in multiple different bases.
But Bellamy never let the regular upheaval get to her.
Everywhere Bellamy went, she was able to fit in and make friends.
By her 30s, Bellamy had already reinvented herself multiple times. A Navy brat, member of the U.S. Air Force, and finally, as a mother.
Being a mother was her most important accomplishment.
She was always there for us and she was at every event.
She was always available for them, no matter what.
Bellamy's relationship with her children's father was a different story.
Her and my dad, they had a little bit of a rocky relationship.
They eventually went their separate ways, sharing custody of their 2 children.
We would be with my mom for a week and then with my dad.
The arrangement didn't take away from how great of a mom she was.
but it did give Bellamy a little time to herself.
And as her children got older, Bellamy was looking to make another new start.
She's saying, what do I want to do? What's next for me?
Bellamy.
That's where Lamont Johnson came into the picture.
He was a coworker. So it was a professional relationship, and then I believe he was interested in something more serious.
What are you doing this weekend?
You asking me out?
I guess I am.
Bellamy had to admit that Lamont had a lot to offer.
He's a Christian man. He attended college and was never married previously or had any children.
He checks all the boxes. Why not take a chance?
Pick me up at 7?
Yeah.
My sister was interested in it. Hear that they're dating.
It seemed, just storybook romance.
Sparks everywhere.
Less than a year later, Lamont and Bellamy moved in together and made a bombshell announcement.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
She announced she was having twins.
What?
I do remember when my mom told my brother and I, we were just really shocked, but it was exciting.
Just imagining, thinking of 2 teenagers that are almost, probably heading into their adulthood, and now I'm starting over, all the way over.
I was excited for her, and it was such a blessing because she had another boy and girl.
She was pretty much like, yo, this is it. Like, this is my new start.
But now, less than 2 years after the birth of their twins, Bellamy has disappeared. And Lamont tells police performing a welfare check that he has no idea where she is.
So she just left? Well, it's been a tough couple months.
There had been a lot of stress in a relationship, and raising 2 young children together only compounded it.
That was, really challenging for the 2 of them.
The close quarters compounded the problems.
It's a very small place, and they're living in this crowded conditions.
Money was also tight.
A lot of people stay together just because they can't afford to split up.
But that doesn't seem to be the case with Bellamy and Lamont.
She's been spending less and less time here.
He was stating that, she kind of was seeing other people.
Do you think she may be with someone else? That's my best guess.
We're just getting started with uncovering the layers of deception. Stay tuned for more of the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
Single mom Bellamy Gamboa seemed to have finally found the key to lasting happiness with 41-year-old Lamont Johnson.
It's just an excitement for her to be able to start over again.
The relationship progressed real quickly to the extent that she becomes pregnant, not with 1 child, but with 2 children, and they move in together.
I think for her, she was like, yo, this is it. Like, this is my new start.
But now, on July 2nd, 2018, Bellamy has disappeared without a word. And Lamont tells police that their relationship has recently taken a turn for the worse.
Things haven't really been turning out like I thought they would.
He doesn't put on the front for the police. He tells them, no, there's trouble in this romance.
They kind of had separated, but they were still living together.
Lamont says it was only temporary.
Felt like until I kind of figure this thing out, let me stay here and help you with the kids.
I thought she was just overwhelmed and, things would get back to normal, and hasn't turned out that way.
Him still being in the household really was like his last-ditch effort to kind of hold on to that relationship.
But now Lamont fears his effort has failed.
Lamont said that, she had been seeing someone else.
According to Lamont, the man's name is Nate Cooper, and he's another one of their co-workers.
He works out at the docks, but he's always coming into their office to talk to her.
He thought that Nate was pretty much stealing her attention from her household, from the kids, from him.
What do you think? She may be with this Nate guy?
Wouldn't be the first time.
He said since she started hanging around Nate, she started staying out all night, drinking, using drugs, and partying.
When was the last time that you saw her?
Last night when she went to bed.
Good night.
He said he slept on the sofa. Bellamy slept upstairs.
And when he stepped outside around 1 a.m., Bellamy was still home.
I went out for a smoke. Her car was out there then.
He said when he got up the next morning, the car was gone.
But is Lamont telling police the truth?
He was confident in what he said.
Or could there be another explanation for Bellamy's sudden disappearance?
A breakup and a new man? Lamont's story basically gave him a motive.
Nobody wants to see the mother of their child with anybody else.
You care if we look around?
Sure thing.
He very openly let him in. Come in. Here's my house. Here's what's going on.
Looking around, they're going to see whether there's any obvious signs of struggle.
The officers don't find any evidence of foul play or a cover-up.
The home was a bit of a mess, but not worse than any normal home with 2 toddlers and 2 teenagers.
However, Lamont points out to the police that a few of Bellamy's things are missing.
Bellamy's overnight bag was gone, as well as some of her personal belongings.
Okay, thank you, sir. We appreciate your time.
No worries.
After talking with Lamont, officers issue a bolo for Bellamy's car and return to the station to hand the case over to detectives, who start by reaching out to her family.
Bellamy's co-workers had already contacted her family that morning after she failed to show up for work.
We all kind of had a feeling like my sister would never not show up to work without notifying her supervisor.
Once at the station, the family explains, like everyone else, they had tried to get a hold of Bellamy and failed.
Usually every morning, we would always have missed calls from my mom. So when I woke up to not having any calls from my mom, it was kind of strange. And I just kept texting her and texting her and texting her, and she wasn't responding.
That Monday morning, I just had a feeling something was wrong. My sister is not texting me. I remember calling Lamont. He did sound concerned, and he said the last time he saw Bellamy was about 10:30 p.m. the night before, that she was going upstairs to sleep.
This was the same story that Lamont had given the police, who had visited the couple's townhouse.
And I want you to know that we're going to do everything we possibly can to find Bellamy, all right?
It didn't feel real. My sister's missing. Bellamy's missing. She's not with her children right now. Did she reach a breaking point and just drive off?
Was there any problems in the home with Lamont?
Nothing out of the ordinary. The usual ups and downs, and mostly problems with money.
What about drugs? Any abuse history?
No way. Absolutely not.
The family is adamant that Bellamy's not off partying with another man, as Lamont had suggested.
It was not in Bellamy's character. She went to work every day. She came home. She took care of her children.
So for her to be accused of using drugs or even stepping out just doesn't seem like her.
Is it possible there was a side to Bellamy her family didn't know?
I'll show you the way out.
Despite the contradicting statements, the detectives still had to look into Nate Cooper, who was the person that Lamont believes that Bellamy had run off with.
Nate had to be crossed off of the list.
But before they can make contact, detectives receive a hit on the bolo for Bellamy's car.
The police actually found the car at another apartment complex.
It was in an area there was a lot of drug activity.
But one of the biggest things that alarmed everybody was the car ended up being in the neighborhood of where Nate lived.
You won't want to miss the thrilling twists that are about to unfold. Stay tuned for more of the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
Detectives investigating the disappearance of 39-year-old Bellamy Gamboa have just discovered that the missing mother's car has been found at an apartment complex across town.
Officers patrolling the area got a hit on the license plate and immediately called it in.
This was not the safest part of town. It had a bit of a bad reputation.
With no sign of Bellamy near her abandoned car, police have it towed in for processing. And detectives circle back to their only lead, Nate Cooper.
Nate was the man that Lamont Johnson, the father of Bellamy's two youngest children, believed that she was currently seeing behind his back.
But when detectives go to track down Nate, they notice something suspicious.
It's the same complex where a car was found.
Why would her car all of a sudden be over there? And why would it be there after she come up missing?
Hauled in for questioning, Nate does admit that he knows Bellamy from work.
So, did you know that Bellamy was missing?
I heard her family was looking for her.
His concerns is just like everyone else's concern, like where'd she go?
But when detectives ask him why her car was found at his complex, his concern turns to shock.
Nate was just as surprised. He said he had no idea why Bellamy's car was at his apartment complex.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Nate says as far as he knew, Bellamy didn't even know where he lived.
Really? Because we heard that there was something going on between you and Bellamy.
Whoa, it is not like that, seriously.
He just stated that, I liked her, we flirted.
But Nate insists that things never went beyond that.
It was just harmless flirting.
He's also adamant that he has no idea where Bellamy might be.
He denied all allegations. Please, if you're blaming me, I'm the wrong person.
We really just flirted, honest.
His story was like, hey, I would not mind having that chance with her, but there's no way I would do anything to harm her.
Nor did he have the opportunity.
He said he was at work all night, working a double.
Hang tight for us.
When the detectives followed up with his employer, they confirmed that he was scheduled to work a double shift that night. He didn't remember seeing Nate, but it was a fairly big place.
His time card did show he was at work.
But that doesn't explain why Bellamy's car was parked at his complex.
Alibis sometimes can be faked.
Just because his time card says he shows up, was he really there?
Perhaps he asked a coworker to clock him out.
Detectives release Nate for now and hope the results from the forensic tests on Bellamy's car can tell them something.
When you have an actual vehicle from a missing person, then police will move forward with subsequent investigations before they rule him out as a possible suspect.
The search of the car turns up little of interest.
There's a lot of trash, and of course she has 4 children at the time, and so her car is disheveled. However, there's nothing there to alarm police, such as blood or anything.
Since the keys were missing and the vehicle had been locked, it was as if Bellamy had just parked it and walked away.
The car seemingly a dead end. Detectives' next step is to canvass Nate's apartment complex.
That area was the last place they could trace Bellamy to.
As they're questioning neighbors, not only has no one seen Bellamy, but they say that Nate's a nice guy.
Everyone said that he was really quiet.
Thank you for your time, sir. You have a good day, all right?
No one reports seeing or hearing anything unusual on the night Bellamy disappeared either.
Searching through her car and canvassing the neighborhood, talking to neighbors. At this point, the police are at a dead end.
Unable to shake the feeling that Nate was involved in Bellamy's disappearance, detectives return to the station and run his name through their database.
When detectives saw his criminal record, it was full of red flags.
The dock worker has an extensive arrest record.
He has some previous domestic violence charges and he has some drug convictions.
Could Lamont have been right all along?
Maybe Bellamy had gone over to Nate's and something had gone horribly wrong.
Who knows what could have happened?
Stay tuned for more of the Fatal Attraction podcast.
Detectives have just discovered that Nate Cooper, the man Bellamy Gamboa had supposedly been seeing, has an extensive criminal record.
He has a drug background as well as a domestic abuse background.
But does that mean that he had something to do with Bellamy's disappearance?
The new information complicated things.
They're going to have to dig a little deeper to be able to verify his story.
The location of the car and Nate's criminal record give detectives enough for a search warrant.
The detectives went over to Nate's apartment trying to find anything that would tie him to Bellamy's disappearance.
They come up empty-handed.
After the search warrant and everything, we go inside and nothing.
Not only is there no evidence of foul play, there's no indication that Bellamy had ever been inside the apartment. Pulling Nate and Bellamy's phone records also fails to reveal a connection.
There's no communication between the two of them.
We didn't hit a wall because we're back to square one with nothing because this guy pans out to be clean.
Maybe there was a little flirtation, but nothing more, as he said originally.
While the detectives spin their wheels, Bellamy's family organizes their own effort to find the missing mother of four.
I hope everybody sees this.
We just started posting on Facebook. I remember I just asked if you can share this photo of Bellamy.
Put your number so they know where to call.
And if anyone has seen her.
It was just a crazy experience it didn't feel like real life that this was happening.
But with each passing day, with no sign of Bellamy and no word from her, the family's hope turns to fear.
It's very scary. It's like emotional.
We're searching for my sister, but do we want to find her? Because we were just thinking, oh, we're not going to find her alive. It's been 4 days.
It was scary to think about how if we did end up finding my mom, that would be like really traumatic.
While the family despairs, detectives continue to work the case.
Once Nate's part played out to be nothing, we were like, okay, let's go see if we can get something.
Detectives need to figure out how Bellamy's car ended up near Nate's apartment.
They decided to subpoena all the footage from several area surveillance cameras.
When footage from a business a couple of blocks from the apartment comes in, detectives finally catch a break.
The surveillance camera showed that Bellamy's car is driving toward Nate's apartment complex in the morning that she disappeared.
The timestamp on the video is 3:20 a.m.
Now they have an approximate time Bellamy or some other individual drove the vehicle there.
But the bigger break comes a few minutes later when someone passes by the camera in the opposite direction, on foot.
Of course, you're going to put two and two together at that point to see that whoever was driving the car left the car and they walked away.
Mr. Guy, right?
It's like, wow, finally we have something, a lead or something to go on.
While the footage is grainy, the man in the image looks awfully familiar.
It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Did you see what I saw?
The man walking away from Bellamy's car looked a lot like Lamont.
And if the man on the video is Lamont Johnson, that changes everything.
First of all, it's 3:20 in the morning. Why are you out? Number two, why are you walking away from Bellamy's vehicle?
This was supposedly when Lamont was home asleep with the twins.
Was it all a lie?
If Lamont had done something to Bellamy, he could have easily ditched the car at Nate's apartment complex to throw detectives off track.
Suspecting that the man is Lamont, detectives get a search warrant for the couple's home.
The earlier search, when police had done the welfare check, was not as thorough.
They have the ability to look at what's in the open area, not closets or drawers or anything like that.
Now armed with a warrant, the detectives are able to do a full forensic search. But they once again come up empty-handed.
There is no suspicion of foul play. There's nothing there to alarm police.
There's no blood, no physical evidence. There's none of that.
Disappointed, the detectives turn their attention to the dumpsters that serve the townhouse complex.
Since they did not find anything directly incriminating inside of the house, they checked the trash.
They're looking for Bellamy's belongings, rags, or some type of cleaning products.
Instead, the detectives find something else.
We find keys.
And they weren't just any set of keys.
They were the keys that were missing from Bellamy's car.
We're just getting started with uncovering the layers of deception. Stay tuned for more of the Fatal Attraction podcast.
Detectives investigating the disappearance of Bellamy Gamboa have just found the keys to her car in a dumpster behind the townhouse she shared with Lamont Johnson.
We found this video surveillance, and we go searching trash can after trash can after trash can, and we find keys.
To be able to find those keys and to have video surveillance now is a pretty strong link to Lamont.
They suggested that Lamont ditched Bellamy's car near their co-worker Nate's apartment and then walked home and tossed the keys.
Hoping to prove their theory, detectives subpoena all of his phone data.
And if police are able to pull that information from the cell phone tower providers, then they're able to pretty accurately track movements.
Lamont's movements on the night Bellamy went missing are pretty damning.
They had Lamont going towards Nate's residence and then going back to his residence where subsequently the keys are found inside of a dumpster.
In addition to the tower data tracking his movements, detectives also examine his internet search history.
They found searches for garbage routes and landfills. It's like, where does it go to?
Who actually wants to know that information at 3 in the morning?
For detectives, the answer is obvious.
He was trying to find somewhere to dispose of Bellamy's body.
He wanted it to be a landfill that was further away from his house because I'm sure he assumed that they would be looking at the places that were close to him.
The voicemails from Lamont's phone also reveal the tensions leading up to Bellamy's disappearance.
As we hear in so many relationships, money was a big factor. When they broke up, they used to give their rent payments separately, but the management company wasn't letting them do that anymore. So he was telling her she needed to give her share to him and then he would make the payment.
Bellamy had refused.
Don't call me leaving me nasty messages about how you need the money. I am not giving that money to you, Lamont.
She told Lamont that she didn't trust him to actually pay the bills.
And based on one voicemail, Lamont had also threatened her.
You saying you're gonna kill me and get away with it? How dare you even say something like that?
It sounds like at some point she probably feared that he was serious about what he said to her.
Detectives are convinced that Lamont had followed up on his threat, but they'll need more to make an arrest.
There was no body. You don't really have any physical evidence of Lamont technically doing anything. That was their biggest challenge.
How do you take a case like this to trial when you don't have a body?
And despite their efforts, police don't think they will ever find it either.
They had drones and they had search dogs.
She had been missing several days at this point. So even if the police had found the right landfill, her body would be buried pretty deep.
In the end, they failed to find any trace of Bellamy.
That body is gone, and no matter how many search people you put out there, you probably won't find, through all that trash, through all that stuff, you won't find that body. It's gone to all of us.
Unable to locate Bellamy's body, the detectives decide to try a different strategy, leaning on Lamont.
It's challenging because you don't have something concrete, something to say, hey, this is how she was killed.
The first few hours of the questioning, Lamont was, sticking to his guns.
I already told you everything I know.
But the detectives keep pushing.
The confession will come if you press enough. And you make them feel like you already know.
We know you put her body in the dumpster, Lamont.
We've seen your cell phone searches.
After hours of questioning, there are signs Lamont is starting to crack.
In the interrogation room, it's cold. You don't have anything. And you feel like an animal or someone locked up in a cage.
Can I take a break and have a cigarette?
Sensing that Lamont's resolve is slipping.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Come on.
Detectives take him outside for a cigarette.
Yeah, let's go right there, ma'am.
One of the officers kept asking him, is there anything that you would like to say?
Looks like you got a lot on your mind.
And it's probably that fresh air. He just inhaled it and it just released something inside of him.
I just feel so bad for lying,
You won't want to miss the thrilling twists that are about to unfold. Stay tuned for more of the Fatal Attraction podcast.
After hours of interrogation, police investigating Bellamy Gamboa's disappearance believe her ex-boyfriend, Lamont Johnson, is on the verge of a confession.
He was outside smoking a cigarette with one of the officers, and he finally just broke down.
I'm sorry. I just feel so bad for lying, I'm sorry.
Guilt will eat at you. It broke him.
You want to come inside?
Back in the interrogation room, detectives ask Lamont to walk them through what happened the night Bellamy disappeared.
He told police they had been arguing about the rent payment.
Bellamy, just give me the money and I'll deal with it.
I already told you no. End of conversation.
No, this is the start of the conversation.
Bellamy just decided to walk away from the situation.
Don't follow me!
Don't walk away from me!
I'm not doing this with you right now.
But Lamont says he was too angry to let it go.
She was heading to go back downstairs.
Why are you walking away from me?
You can't handle this responsibility.
What?
Yeah, you.
And he says he gave her a push.
Leave me alone, Lamont.
Don't walk away from me.
I didn't mean for it to happen.
According to Lamont, Bellamy wasn't really hurt by her tumble down the stairs. But she was angry.
You're going to jail.
What are you doing?
Bellamy said, "You're in so much trouble." And I think that triggered something in him.
He didn't want her to call 911. He figured that if I let her get up, this is the end of my life.
I don't think so.
Instead, it was the end of hers.
He started to choke her at that point.
He strangled her to death in front of the twins.
The twins were right there. They were screaming and crying.
Eventually, Bellamy stopped struggling. But Lamont was far from finished.
He had 2 crying babies, the mother laying on the floor.
He kind of dragged her body out of the way so that the twins wouldn't see it anymore.
Then, Lamont got on his phone and started searching.
He's trying to figure out what to do with the body.
He's planned to dispose of Bellamy's body in a dumpster.
He also gathered together some of Bellamy's things in her overnight bag.
He wanted to make it look like she had run off on her own.
And then at some point that night, he wrapped her up and he left the children there and took the body.
Lamont places her body into a dumpster in Chesapeake, which is not in the immediate vicinity of Virginia Beach.
Then he ditched Bellamy's car at Nate's apartment complex and made the long walk home.
He said when he finally got home, the twins were asleep in the playpen.
I have no words. Honestly, it's just the worst thing that you can ever imagine that a human being would do in front of his own 2 children.
After his confession, Lamont takes detectives to the dumpster where he'd left Bellamy's body.
Lamont chose it because it was scheduled to be empty the day after the murder.
But it wasn't headed for the landfill.
The body didn't go to a landfill. It went to an incinerator.
You're not going to find a body. There's no remains. And so that takes away the family's ability to find closure and to have a proper burial for her at that point.
Even without a body, detectives are able to place Lamont under arrest for second-degree murder.
I don't really necessarily think I felt anything. It was almost like, okay, now he's arrested. It was a good thing, but I still had to deal with this.
When Lamont stands trial on May 24th, 2022, justice is far from assured.
Lamont Johnson walks into court on the first day of his second-degree murder trial.
They played his confession video during the trial. He just said that they had a disagreement and that he pushed her down the stairs. And then she said that she was going to call the police. And once he realized she was trying to call the police, that's when he started choking her.
It was a lot to hear because that's when we really heard like the full details of everything that happened to my mom.
The defense doesn't deny that Lamont killed Bellamy, but insists that he is innocent of murder.
His defense was arguing that it was manslaughter and that it was heat of the moment, that they may have had a contentious relationship, but that he wouldn't have done that to his children.
The jury is unconvinced and finds Lamont guilty of second-degree murder.
I don't know if it's necessarily closure yet. After we heard the guilty conviction, it was overwhelming joy that took over.
However, when the jury hands down its sentence, it's far less than Lamont faced.
The maximum he could have received was 40 years, but the jury gave him a little over 25.
I don't really think it's a sentence that gives justice. He took a life from us.
Honestly, he kind of got away with something because there was nobody.
We were satisfied that he had the punishment long enough for the twins to be grown adults then and having their own lives already.
In the meantime, all 4 of Bellamy's children have been learning to live without a mother.
Losing my mom, it definitely had a bigger impact on my mental health.
It takes a strong person to move through something as serious and traumatic as what happened to Bellamy's family.
We just go day by day, and it sounds so cliche, but that's how we can move on.
The tragic loss of Bellamy Gamboa deeply impacted a community, sparking fierce determination among her family, friends, and neighbors to seek the truth and justice. As a devoted mother and proud military member, Bellamy represented unconditional love. No child should face the pain of losing a parent so young. Bellamy's legacy will forever inspire those who knew her, shining as a beacon of love and strength. Coming up on the next episode of the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
She was a young single mother finding her way.
I knew she would be a great mom.
She had that motherly touch about her.
She had her son, and she was just elated, like so happy.
So when she never returns from a night out, alarm bells start ringing.
In the hearts of San Francisco, a young mother revels in the joys of motherhood, her infectious laughter bringing joy to her loved ones. However, a night out changes her life forever. As the hours pass, increasing unease fills the community as unanswered calls pile up. What started as a single night out soon turns into days filled with silence and unanswered questions. Tune in to the next episode of the Fatal Attraction Podcast. We will see you in the next episode.
Before new Cascade Platinum Plus, I would pre-rinse all my dishes because my old detergent just wouldn't get them clean. But now, I do dishes differently. And no pre-wash, no rewash, money-back guaranteed kind of different. Because Cascade Platinum Plus has double the grease fighting power of Dawn built right in, with twice the scrubbing power, giving me a clean that lets me break all the dish rules. I just scrape, load, and I'm done. Yep. So clean. With Cascade Platinum Plus, I dare to dish differently.